Welcome everyone, my name is Ollie and I can proudly declare that I'm the first person on the internet to have collected a full master set of every Crystal Beast card printed within the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that whenever a Crystal Beast card has received a printing in a Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG set, that I have managed to get at least one copy of said card. Now, I do not include both misprints of the Rainbow Dragon card. Well, more the Rainbow Dragon and Chaos Neos card. The one, for those that don't know, there is a printing of the Rainbow Dragon, the Ghost Rare one from Tactical Evolution, where by mistake the card artwork from Chaos Neos has managed to get on the card. And also the reverse has happened, where the Chaos Neos card, the Ghost Rare, has the Rainbow Dragon artwork on it. I do not count these because, quite frankly, those are ridiculously hard to get, ridiculously expensive, and quite frankly, I am not interested in Konami's tales of incompetence. Shout out if you got that movie reference. Now, before we start, I want to give two huge shoutouts. First shoutout is to the Crystal Peak Discord server. If you want to show off your own collection, or if you want to talk about Crystal Beasts in general, you should consider joining the Discord. The link will be in the video description. The second shoutout is going to go to my own locals, TCG Liga Murten. They're in Switzerland because I'm in Switzerland, but they have helped me so much by acquiring many of these cards that would have been bothersome for me to acquire myself, or they just already had in stock at their shop. So yeah, if you're seeing this, Elia, Vincenzo, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you.
In my hurry to get to release this video, I completely neglected to talk about the fact that I made an Excel spreadsheet that helped me keep track of all the cards that I was looking for. This was invaluable, and if you're also looking to collect them all, I will leave a version of this spreadsheet in the video description. I sorted them by either the cards themselves or by set code, going from Hobby League 05 all the way to Rarity Bonanza.
And without any further ado, let's jump into the binder, shall we? This is the cover page where I have put up I would say the most important cards for the archetype, or the most important cards to me. So it's just a bit of a shiny cover page. Now, I have tested with video recording settings, and there isn't a good optimal way to zoom in and zoom out without it being a major hassle. So for the cover page, I will do it like this, and I will just give you a close-up of every card that's in here, starting with the Secret Rare Crystal Bond Pharaonic Secret Rare from Magnificent Mavens. This card was pretty unexpected to get such a print, and quite frankly, I think there would have been better cards because the symbols and Pharaoh theming, I don't think Crystal Bond didn't need that treatment. It's nice to have. It was quite a hassle to get. Once again, shout out to my locals and also to Neshi, because this card is straight out of his own collection. Next up is Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon. Now, this is a good angle. Now, from this you can see two things: that I am in a German-speaking country and this isn't first edition. Listen, I have gotten most, I would say 95% of this whole binder is going to be in English first edition, but listen, if you live in a non-English speaking country, acquiring some of these cards is ridiculous as is. So yeah, this was just where I was willing to call it quit. Also, this card was one of the one of the starters. If I can't speak, I shouldn't try to pronounce difficult words. This card was in the window of my locals, and when I came back into the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG in 2022, I saw this card and I was like, yeah, I need to get this card. I need to own this. This has been a holy grail for little Ollie. So yeah, I saved up at one time and I got the card and I love it. Even if it's not a good ghost rare, because Konami needed to figure out how to do ghost rares. It's still an awesome thing to have. This is the first ghost rare to have ever been printed within the TCG. Yeah. Moving on to the Rainbow Neos, or the Regenbogen Neos in German. Oh, this is a good angle. Yeah. Now, this is the first edition, and this has a few flaws, a few scratches. You can see it, I think, yeah, right here. But the choices was between a flawless unlimited copy or a slightly flawed first edition, and yeah, I just know if I had taken the flawless unlimited copy, I would have went for the first set anyway later on, so I just thought, you know what, this is as good as it's gonna get, and yeah, this is honestly quite good. Now, it still suffers from the same issues as Rainbow Dragon does, because it's barely visible, but yeah, they have gotten better at printing ghost rares. Next up is the Crystal Beacon Hobby League rare. This and Ruby Carbuncle were the first cards, Crystal Beast cards, to have been given out. Now, is there any angle where I can do it justice? Maybe I need to take it out of its over sleeves. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Well, people that already own the card, oh, there we go. People that already own the card know that it's a bit more vibrant in real life, but cameras don't really do it justice, but it's still pretty, and many people know that the Hobby League Ruby exists, but they don't know that Crystal Beacon also has this Hobby League printing. Get in there. Now, while we're already at it, here's also the Ruby. Now, Ruby has also received a quarter century secret rare, and honestly, this could be viewed as a prototype, an ancient prototype of that. I think people used to compare this rarity also as a prototype Starlight rare, which is also fair. Once again, the camera just doesn't do this card justice, because this is really stunning. Anyway, next up you see another Ruby. Now this one is just a German common Ruby that I pulled out of a Force of the Breakers pack like 2 or 3 years ago, but the history here is that when I was a kid, I think I was 10 years old when Force of the Breakers came out. I also watched the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, and when I saw Ruby, it was like a cat, and I'm a cat person, so Ruby was my dual spirit, and I used to carry a common card around of either Force of the Breaker or the Duelist pack, Jesse Anderson. I used to carry one in my wallet, like where people would put their ID, I put a Ruby Carbuncle, and that's why it got a spot on the center of the cover page. Almost same story for the tin promo of the Rainbow Dragon. Now this card this isn't the exact copy that I had as a kid, but when I was a kid, I really wanted the Rainbow Dragon, and so I begged my mom to get me one. And for an Easter, she got me this tin promo, and I have loved the tin promos ever since. Now, if I get you out, will you look a bit more shiny? Yeah, there we go. I just love old secrets. I just love secrets in general, which is quite funny because I am horrible at keeping any secrets. Haha. Now, moving on from one secret to the other, we had the side of light. Now we get the dark side with the Rainbow Dark Dragon, or the Regenbogen Finsternisdrache, as the Germans would call it. Now, I only included this because I think this card has to be mentioned when talking about Crystal Beasts. I think it's quite awesome, honestly. And I'm a bit sad that this card hasn't also received a Ghost Rare. Well, I guess my wallet is happy because that would have been quite ridiculous to pay. And now we have the 4 ultimate rares. The Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. Yeah, that's a good way to see the foiling. Perfect. Perfect. This one is near mint first. I mean, it's only crime is being German. To elaborate on this, for the life of me, I hate reading German cards. I feel like every time I have to read Spezialbeschwörung, I'm getting a stroke. Now, this ultimate rare, Sapphire Pegasus, huge shoutouts to Ben from the Crystal Peak Discord server. He offered me this card for an insanely low price. Like, I wanted to offer him more, but he said, "No, bro, you're good. This is a spare card that I have," and I'm so grateful to him for giving me this awesome, pretty card. Now, I will not get a playset of this, not in this lifetime. Like, it's pretty, but I don't feel like owning a playset of it or paying for a playset of that. Now, the Topaz Tiger, this is an underrated card. I got this for really cheap. This is a first English near mint copy, and I got this here in Switzerland for I think 90 bucks. My locals helped me get this, and honestly, this was way underpriced for considering its condition and the region we're in. Like, this is not an English-speaking country. It has the ulti stamp on the back, but I mean, honestly, it's just for the collection, so this is good enough. This is good enough. Same with the rare value or Seltenheitswert. I don't know why this needed an ulti, but it has the ulti, and yeah, I think the ulti foiling does a really good job at like the light refractions that you can see. But I don't have many feelings over this, but this just all made up for a really good first cover page. Now, I will not spend as much on the next pages, so don't worry, we will move on with the show. Now I have toyed around with zooming in settings, and this is the best solution that I have found, that I will just go through all the printings very quickly. Oh yeah, for every card that I've included on the front page, I have left them out on their respective page. I ordered the binder after the card, so each card that has received multiple printings has its own page. Starting off with Ruby from Force of the Breakers, Duelist Pack, the Legendary Collection GX, and then all the Crystal Beasts minus Sapphire Pegasus has received a super printing in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and This one is an American copy because I hate supers, but those are gorgeous. How can you argue with that? Then we go on to the Legendary Duelist 2, I think. Honestly, between LED 2 and LDS 1, I am a bit lost at what these sets are supposed to be. I know that they're like duelist packs and they have thrown some other cards from other duelists in there too, but yeah, I think the general consensus on these sets is that they're really nothing sets, and every time they're printed it's just proven again by their low impact. Then we have the Speed Duel, the Structure Deck printing, the Ultra printing from Battle of Legends Crystal Revenge, and the printing from the Megatin from last year. This is the Quarter Century Secreter. Now, if we want, we can compare this with the Hobby League, because those cards are a bit more similar than one would think, because both foilings are patterned the same way. Here's like the crystal in the back is also foiled, which, yeah, the camera doesn't really do justice. And here it's just like the whole card minus ruby. I think everyone can decide for themselves what they find more appealing. Most people will go with the QCR, but I'm old, so I value the old cards more. Moving on, we go to Amber Arnold Mammoth, Force of the Breaker, Duelist Pack, Jesse Anderson. These cards have almost all received same prints, like when one was printed, the other was printed too, and almost all of them in the same rarity. Here's the Raw Yellow Mega Pack one. But now I have to talk about a specific set. Now, for the people that can read Portuguese, this one is in Portuguese, and this is not because all I could find was Portuguese. This card has only been printed in Portuguese as an OTS 7 Brazilian exclusive. Now the story here is when OTS 7 got to Brazil, they were like, no, we have to throw a few exclusive comments in there, and those were the 3 Ojama brothers and all Crystal Beasts minus Ruby and Pegasus. So you know, all the bulk Crystal Beasts. These cards were ridiculously to find because I'm in Europe, so obviously I'm not really close to Brazil, so card market was empty. I even tried TCG Player, that was empty too. There was one store on the internet, I think it's called Epic Games, that's in Brazil, that had these cards listed for sale. And I found someone on the Crystal Beast Facebook group, out of all places, to get me these cards and send them to me. That was its own legacy. That's not Legacy, Odyssey, and that's the reason why this video has come out as late as it is, because as some of you may know, I have promised this video for quite some time. These cards were the reason, but these are probably, if you intend to collect your own master set of Crystal Beast cards, honestly, either these or another card that I will get to later will probably the hardest to acquire. Not the Ghoster, Rainbow Dragon or whatnot, no, these cards. Anyway, moving on. The Legendary Series, Speed Duel, the Structure Deck print, and the Battle of Legend Crystal Revenge. Now I will get these out to show it. It's just this one I think is also American. I think I got this one from Nashi, so Again, shout out to the guy. Yeah, honestly, I think American printings of cards, they look better. Now, I know people have complained about them being more flimsy, but it's just more vibrant, honestly. Then we move on to the Tiger. The Tiger was a rare in Force of the Breaker. It was also a rare again in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson. I don't know why it needed to be a rare twice. The ultimate rare is missing, as I said, because it's on the cover page. Oh my god, I cannot. There you go. I think this one might be the prettiest out of all the raw yellow Mega Pack Supers. I mean, look at this. My god. Then we go with the Ferra Cristallina Tigre Topazio. Honestly, I'm glad I have these cards, but I never want to look at them again after this. This was horrible. These were horrible to acquire. The Crystal Beast Structure Deck and the Crystal Wrench Ultras. Moving on with Turtles, same story. All the same printings that you're used to see, and this video will get more interesting once we get through all the 7 Crystal Beasts. Again, beautiful foiling here. Ferra Cristallina Tartaruga Esmeralda. There we go. I will probably get linchpin by every Portuguese speaking person. Now also same story for Eagle. For those people with a sharp eye, yes, I even color coded my every card in this with corresponding sleeves. Yeah, that was also like $100 down the drain because I felt like I needed to do that, you know? OCD is a bitch. Ferra Cristallina Aguilla Cobalto. I don't know why I'm doing this. Moving on to Sapphire Pegasus. Sapphire Pegasus has received a few more printings than the other ones, and also has a few has their holo printings arranged differently. We start with the Force of the Breaker Ultra Rare, then the Tin promo, because this Rainbow Dragon, and I don't even know what the other 2 cards were. I think Plasma Vice or something have received their own tins. I would love to have sealed copies of these tins, but no, that's not possible. I will settle for empty tins that are in a bit more of a usable condition. All secrets, man. They're just so pretty. Now, when I said that you will have most trouble finding the OTS 07 Crystal Beast cards, and I mentioned another card. This one is the other card. Now, this one is a dual terminal Pegasus. Nothing to bet your eye at here, but if you look at it closely at the set code, it says DTP1. That means it's a dual terminal preview. Before the dual terminal cards before the dual terminal machines were actually in effect, there was a preview at some convention in the US, and there were a few dual terminal preview cards, and Sapphire Pegasus was one of them. Those are incredibly hard to find because it was just one event. I think I paid $100 for this because if you have 10K vision and zoom in really close, you will find some whitening on the border. But honestly, who cares? Who cares really? Now the worst part about this is that if you take the dual terminal version of Sapphire Pegasus, the one that most people have, the DT01, you can see it's the dual terminal preview is just really a prototype here. Like, it also has the foiling, but it's much weaker. And also, for some reason, the dual terminal preview has an unlim stamp. Why would you do that? I wouldn't recommend anyone trying to pick this card up casually. Like, only do this when you're really committed to the bit or like collecting dual terminal previews. But I think if you do that, there's something else seriously wrong with you. You know, that's worth a lot coming from my mouth out of all people, right? Now, Sapphire Pegasus didn't get its super printing in the Raw Yellow Mega Packs. It got it in Legendary Collection GX. I don't know why they had to split it up like that, but there you go. Then we go through all the sets that we would expect. Speed Duel, now it also got a secret rare in the Speed Duel box. I think we could compare this with the old secret rare. Yeah. Now, obviously, the new one is a bit more clean and it's more shiny in that way, but I don't know. It's yeah. As I said, I'm old. The old one just appeal more to me because I grew up with them. So yeah, sue me. We have the structure deck printing and the ultra rare from Battle of Legend Crystal Revenge. Now, I have a bit of a beef with Sapphire Pegasus because it was the only card that forced me to give it a second page. I was considering getting a 16 pocket binder, but I was like, no, that would be ridiculous. Not for one card. So here's the Platinum Secret Rare from Bonanza and the Quarter Century Secret Rare. This has been the goal to collect for most people, and honestly I would advise you to do that as well, because now that the Quarter Century stuff is over, these cards aren't going to get any cheaper, you know. We move on to Amethyst Cat. It received a rare in the Duelist pack Jesse Anderson. I don't know why, but it has it. Once again, the Raw Yellow Mega Pack printing as a super. The OP07 printing, Ferra Cristallina Gata Ametista. The other printings you would suspect. The Ultra Rare and Battle of Legend Crystal Revenge. And what's that? Another Speed Duel card? Yeah, as it turned out, for some reason, only Amethyst Cat got a super rare again in the Speed Duel Tournament Pack 5. I don't know why just Amethyst Cat needed this, but good for her, you know. Then we move on to both Ultra printings of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, or Zenith as we affectionately call it. Those are just really the same printings. I'm just seeing those are two structure decks. Hold on, I will need to pause this recording. What is going on here? Excuse me, Zenith, this is unacceptable. There are 72,000 people here. Shout out if you got that reference. Alright, there we go. Ghost from the Past 2 and Structure Deck Crystal Beast. Now, this card was stuck in OCG Purgatory for 2.5 years, something like that. I don't know, they could have given us something more than just 2 Ultras printed within 3 months, not even 3 months from each other. Oh well. Now we get to the good part. The Rainbow Dragon. Now, this is one of the few cards that I just couldn't get neither an English or a first edition copy of it, but honestly, this card is stupid as hell. This card has no reason to be as expensive as it is when it has a tin promo that looks just the same. I know that it's so hard to pull in Tactical Evolution. It looks the same, I don't care. But yeah, that's the Tactical Evolution secret cover. The Ghoster is on the cover page. And we got the Ultra printing from the Legendary Collection GX. You can look at it, but it's just a really nice old Ultra. I think honestly this one is on the same level as the Topaz Tiger super rare. It's just so vibrant. Then we got the first common print in Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and from there on out it has been all commons up until the Speed Duel box, where it has received a secret once again. Yeah, this looks clean, but it also looks kind of dead. Like, where's the personality here? Then the Ultra and the Quarter Century Secret Rare. Honestly, I don't think Rainbow Dragon looks that good. I don't think any of the Crystal Beast cards look that amazing with it, but you know, I'm happy to have it, then for the cards to not be there at all. At least we get some love, as we should. We move on to the Advanced Crystal Beast. I put them all on the same page because honestly those are all just more or less the same cards. I will show off the secret foiling here once. Honestly, this camera really isn't doing it justice. I don't know what I could have done differently with the light. But yeah, those are the Advanced Crystal Beasts. I'm sure you've all seen them plenty and never played them because, unfortunately, they suck. Moving on to the Rainbow Dark Dragon. The first reprint of the Rainbow Dark Dragon was also in Legendary Collection GX, also as an Ultra. I don't know why Rainbow Dragon looks so much better. I think it has to do with the colors and that it has much more room for the foiling to be shown on a card, but yeah. Then we've got a common printing, once again an Ultra printing in Battle of Legend, Relentless Revenge, was it? Yeah. Then we also got a common print in the Structure Deck, Sacred Beast, was it? I don't know why it needed this, but there you go, there you have it. And with that, we're almost through with the monsters. Yeah, now we go to the Pendulum cards, the Crystal Keeper and the Crystal Master. They have all common prints and their debut sets, the tins from that respective year, and the Crystal Beast Structure Deck. And now, after like 30 minutes or something, we're through with all the monsters. Now we can get into the spells. That is actually a much larger group. I will take a break here. Yay!
Alrighty then. While filming Ollie is taking a break for all of 5 minutes, I want to take this moment to tell you about why I decided to gather this collection in the first place. For those that are only here for the collection, there will be timestamps. I got in contact with Yu-Gi-Oh! Before I could even read, and by the time I could read, we were deep into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I liked the game as was, as any boy in my area did, but I did feel a bit different altogether from my peers, by being a raging homosexual in the making. I liked My Valentine, her Harpy cards, or really any moment within the show that wasn't dominated by raging testosterone. And when we got to the Crystal Beasts, everything just came together for me to like them. Their colors, their close bond to Jessie, Ruby basically being an Espeon knockoff, Jessie and Jaden's friendship, and oh yeah, the big rainbow dragon in the room. The first time this dragon came on the screen in the duel between Jesse, Jaden and Yubel, I was captivated by this baby, like a fireworks show. However, as most of us did, I grew out of Yu-Gi-Oh! I had a few years where I returned to the game online in form of YGO Pro, which is nowadays just Edo Pro, but I only did that to kill the time. But like many, I was sucked back into the game with Master Duel, and when you know it, right when I was considering coming back to the physical card game, the Crystal Beast structure deck was announced, and I joined the Crystal Beast community. My involvement with that community is a whole different story, and many of you watching have been right there alongside me. One facet of being involved with that space was grabbing some foil versions of cool cards to show off. Originally, I was only getting rarity upgrades I wanted to play with, like the Collector Tim promo, Rainbow Dragon and Pegasus. However, that got out of hand more and more. I remember someone dropping this insane goal of wanting to collect every Crystal Beast card ever. Oh, how I laughed and said, "Nah, that's crazy, I'd never do that." This is your fault, Jonno. I'm calling you out publicly now. Lol. And for some time, it turned into a fun competition. There were legitimately moments where we'd snipe each other our next targets on Card Market. But as you can probably tell from all the yapping I'm doing, I've been a bit more locked in on this goal. Having accomplished this feat has been a dream come true for me. I will repeat it later on towards the end, but as a kid, I never was able to own a copy of Sapphire Pegasus. I cheated hardcore to be able to get to use that Rainbow Dragon. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players didn't read even back then. And I'd line up my 6 Crystal Beasts with my dragon, like I was trying to summon the last card out of thin air, repeating, "One day I will have them all!" This probably wasn't what young Ollie had in mind, but I know for sure he would be over the moon by having managed to gather this collection. And with that out of the way, we move on with the video.
And we are back. Now, I tried to get through the next section faster. I don't know if I will be able to shut my mouth for that to happen, but we can try. We got Crystal Promise here, common in Force of the Breaker, common in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson, a rare in the Legendary Collection GX, and a secret rare in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack. I think all of the Crystal spells at the time got a secret print in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack. And from here on out, we just got the Speed Duel and the Structure Deck commons. Moving on to Blessing. Blessing got the same treatment, rare in Legendary Collection GX and secret rare in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack. Shout out to Michael. You know who you are. More Crystal Blessings. We move on to Beacon. Again, a rare in Legendary Collection GX and the secret rare in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack. Honestly, I think Beacon is the one that looks the best in secret rare. I honestly also prefer this one over the Hobby League. But that's just my opinion. We got more commons. Most of this archetype has been printed in commons, but when they haven't been printed in commons, they have been from a few dollars to be one of the hardest cards to acquire that you could imagine. Crystal Abundance that already got its rare in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson. Here is the secret rare. More commons, and we move on to Rare Value. Rare Value also had an ultra rare in Force of the Breaker that really I haven't ever really taken a closer look at the ultra rare, but it kind of blows. The ultra rare looks the ultimate rare looks much better in my opinion, because It has more foiling than just the gems inside the rock. No, bro, what are we doing? More commons. I think one printing is a super rare. Was it maybe the... Oh no, this is OP7. Oh yeah, this... Oh yeah. For some reason, Rare Value got a printing in that same pack with that other Crystal Beast cards. But this one was just standalone in every other part of the world that wasn't Brazil. But in Brazil, they thought like, no, we see Rare Value, we have to imprint we have to include the beasts. Oh well, I'm still trying to find this super printing. You know, maybe I'm just imagining things. It has been a long time that I've started to gather this collection. Structure deck prints and the 2 Bonanza prints in Platinum Secret Rare. And the QCR. I think we're actually moving faster through this section, which honestly, it's long overdue. Now we got the Ancient City Rainbow Ruins with its 2 rare printings. Common printing in Legendary Collection GX. Raw Yellow Mega Pack. And here we have a exclusive print we can talk about. Now this one is a Starfoil rare and oh, what was it called? Let me look that one up real fast. Okay, I got it. It's Battleback Tournament Prize. Yeah, I think the idea with these Battle Pack Tournament prize cards was that Konami thought like there were a few cards that they didn't print in these battle packs that had these Starfoil rares and they felt like some of the collectors wanted a few cards in this rarity, so they did a print run with that, and Rainbow Ruins was one of the selected cards. I think Mystic Shine Ball also has a printing like that, and it's insanely expensive. So yeah, I'm glad Rainbow Ruins wasn't one of the more expensive cards. We move on to more comments. And the Bonanza printings, the Platinum Secret Rare ones. And the QCR, and I think that was our last QCR for this binder. Next up we go with Crystal Release. Crystal Release was first printed as a super rare in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson. Got its ultra rare in the Raw Yellow and Legendary Collection GX, exactly, because it got a common in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack. And I think those were all the special printings of Crystal Release. Yeah, here's the Speed Duel one, here's the Structure Deck one. And we move on to, honestly, such an underrated card. It's such a pretty card, but it's the Crystal Tree. This was also printed as a super rare in the Duelist Pack and reprinted as an ultra rare in the Legendary Collection GX. This is also one of the pretty ultra rares, and correct me if I'm wrong, but do I see a wavy card stock here? Like, wavy cards are talked about when it comes to like old sets like Legend of Blue Eyes, that the wavy cards are really valued and chased after, but honestly this looks like it might be a wavy card stock. This one has to be wavy. People that actually know things about the stuff, let me know in the comments section. Oh yeah, also a small pet peeve I have with the with the sleeves is, yeah, on the back they're properly colored as spell cards, but then on the front they're just black. Why? Why, Dragon Shield? Why did you have to do this to me? Anyway, we move on to more common printings. And we get to Advanced Dark, that was first printed in Return of the Duelist for some reason, and it's really disjointed with the rest of the archetype. But hey, it's a secret rare, so take that as you want. I think in its next print it was printed exactly as super rare in Shining... no, not in Shining Victories. I don't even know what it was anymore, but just imagine you're like opening up a set from like 2013 onward, and you get a foil and it's Advanced Dark. Like, I wouldn't fault anyone for being a bit upset about that. And then it got its last print, that was an ultra print in Battle of Legend Crystal Revenge. Since the advanced crystal beasts were all in that set, yeah, obviously you would get a foil upgrade and go into the bulk bin. Now, for this one, I have to zoom out a bit. There we go. This one is the double page for the Rainbow Bridge and the Crystal Bond, and you will be like, whoa, why is this a full double page spread? The reason for that being that Rainbow Bridge, Crystal Bond, and a few other spell and traps have received different colored ultras in one of these legendary duelist sets. So I was like, yeah, I might as well get a playset of this. I knew early on when planning the binder, not binding the planner, that Rainbow Bridge and Crystal Bond would be right next to each other, so I was like, I should seize the chance and make a huge double spread. Now, those are all either ultras or even the one common Rainbow Bridge. Apart from that, they're all ultras. The only card that might be worth talking about it here is this Crystal Bond. That is the Pharaonic Ultra Rare or Ultra Pharaoh Rare from Magnificent Maven. The story is that the Americans got this card with the secret name, the name being in secret rare, and Europe got this one in Ultra. But there are actually different cards. This was intentional, so I had to get both. Next up, we move on to Rainbow Refraction. That could be a contender for... That could be one of the many contenders for the worst card within the archetype. This one was a super rare printed in Flames of Destruction. Yeah, I got a foil! Oh no, it's Rainbow Destruction and Flames of Destruction. Wasn't that the set where they like printed the Sky Striker cards? Yeah, imagine opening this up for Sky Striker and you get Rainbow Refraction. This is one of the very few cards that I say this card isn't worth the card stock that it's printed on. Next up, we move on to the traps after only over 10 minutes. That's some good progress. We have Crystal Raigeki here. Like, Crystal Raigeki I think was the first archetypal Raigeki break. Unfortunately, it was outclassed by the very same card on release. Now, Crystal Raigeki also has a dual terminal card. Thank goodness this doesn't have dual terminal preview, or I would have blown a gasket. And oh yeah, it also had a super rare printing in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack, which is, you know, decent. Next up, we move on to Last Resort, which honestly, this card has aged so bad. I mean, look at this. Place an Ancient City Rainbow Ruins from your deck, and if your opponent had an active field spell, they can draw a card. The idea was that in the old Master rule, only one field spell could be active, so they would get a compensation for their lost field spell, because, you know, that was really needed. But now, this is just worse Metaverse. Not even Wish would sell this worse version of Metaverse to you, which is why Metaverse was actually included in the Crystal Beast structure deck over this. That's why it only has 2 printings in Force of the Breaker and Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson. Next up, we move on to a card that's barely any better, with Rainbow Path, that only has received common printings, and starting in Phantom Darkness, the GX reprint sets, and Legendary Duelist Season 1, I think. Yeah, they didn't even bother to include this in the structure deck, which, you know, is telling. We move on to Crystal Pair, that was a rare. The Crystal Pair was a rare. This one was, for some reason, printed in the Crystal Beast structure deck and not any other set. They probably didn't need that many pack filler in their other sets. Next on, we move on to Counter Gem, or as it was originally known, Crystal Counter, which was an ultra rare in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson. Send all cards in your spell and trap zone to the graveyard and place as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard in your spell and trap zone, face up as 15 your spell cards, and during the end phase destroy all face up Crystal Beast cards you control. Now, this wasn't good when it was printed. I think the idea would have been to place Crystal Beast including Ruby, and then reviving the Ruby with the Crystal Promise, and then go for damage. But no, this isn't good. And then it was errata, because or properly translated to Counter Gem, so now you can't even search the card. Moving on, we got Rainbow Gravity, which was all common printings, because the card wasn't good back then, and it's completely obsolete now. Next up, we move on to the other card that has received one of these colored ultra rares in Ultimate Crystal Magic. It has blue, it has purple, and it has green, which green looks quite ugly, to be honest, but rather have it and not need it than the other way around. I call Ultimate Crystal Magic affectionately the Noob Trap Crystal Beast card, because it sounds really good. Dump 7 Crystal Beast cards from your deck into the graveyard and special summon an Ultimate Crystal Beast, an Ultimate Crystal card. But no, this is not good, because if you search this card, your opponent knows what's lying there. You can't make any Crystal Beast plays, because you need to have 7 different named Crystal Beasts in your deck for this card to work. But every so often a person will come into the server and be like, "Hey, why haven't we cooked with this card?" And it's always quite amusing to have to let them down gently. Next up, we have Crystal Conclave. Shout out to Neshi again. This was printed in Flames of Destruction 2, has received all its reprints, and even to this day, we still wait for a foil Crystal Conclave that we will probably never get. Next up is Rainbow Overdragon, that also has received one of these colored ultras. Now, I think with all of these ultras, these colored ultras, blue looks the best because the blue is just really pretty. But yeah, the purple works here too, but it works almost too well because then it gets hard to read the name of the card, but oh well, such is life. Can I zoom back in? Yeah, there we go. We're almost done, folks. Then we have Rainbow Neos. Now, this isn't a Crystal Piece card, but I made the cutoff by whenever it mentions Crystal Beast, associate a card either in the name or its card text. So here we have the Phantom Darkness Secret Rare Rainbow Neos, which it looks really stunning. Rainbow Neos was notorious for receiving very few printings. I think when Verte Anaconda was still out, Rainbow Neos, the common version, that was in Raw Yellow Mega Pack, shot up to like $5 or something. But after the Phantom Darkness, yeah, it had a Super and Legendary Collection GX, a common in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and then it was printed as a rare again in, what was it, Maximum Gold Eldorado? Yeah, Eldorado it was. And then we move on to the cards that have only been printed one time that are still waiting for a reprint. Now, I know that Malefic Rainbow Dragon isn't technically a Crystal Beast or a Rainbow Dragon because even in the Japanese, where they're all called Ultimate Crystal Gods, Malefic Rainbow Dragon doesn't have that honorific, so you can't search it out with Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. But it still mentions Rainbow Dragon in its text, so I was like, yeah, you know what, I could throw this in. Then we have the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. These cards are ordered by the time they release. So Malefic Rainbow Dragon was released when the movie came out for Bonds Beyond Time. Then we have the Rainbow Bridge and Salvation that was in the Megatin 22 as an exclusive card to that set. And then we have the Structure Deck cards. Awakening, Crystal Ages, Crystal Boon, Crystal Miracle, Crystal Brilliance, and the ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Now the OCG got this card as a secret rare, which is honestly so much prettier, but beggars can't be choosers. We have the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart and the secret rare Golden Rule that was included in the Battle of Legends Crystal Monstrous Revenge. That was 1 year after Crystal Revenge, so I don't know, didn't they think of the card before that, or were they like, you know, they're still missing something, let's give them something more? Like, this card reads insane. You place 2 Crystal Beasts from your deck and special summon a Ruby from your graveyard or your hand, so it's revived. Like, Konami really tried to push this deck. Unfortunately, it was a bit in vain by the time Golden Rule came out, but hey, this is the most valuable card in any combo deck, so thank you, Konami. Please, give us some more. We really need it. Then we have the token cards, the two super rares, Jessie Bonder with the Crystal Beast and Jessie and Ruby unleashing the legend, as well as the common Crystal Beast token. And with that, we're already at the last page. Like, the page behind that is blank because I didn't really have any good idea what I could put there, but I decided to include like any product cards that were included. Like, these cards, I'm pretty sure old viewers will remember these cards being included in the Duelist pack. Jesse Anderson, where I think those cards were included in all Duelist packs, like in the old ones, where they would take their time to explain some strategies to you. It's funny that they recommend you using terraforming to grab Ancient City Rainbow runes because they already even knew in 2000, in 2000, in 07, they already knew that Last Resort would be ass. So they said no, take the good one and take the good extender. And Terraforming was such a good extender, and Ancient City Rainbow Ruins was like one of the best field spells before modern field spells were a thing. So yeah, we just got strategy cards 1 through 9, and the 10th one was the set list. Now, if only I had read this set list when I was a kid, or no, I've read this set list when I was a kid, but I got this set card, this checklist, so late. I opened up so many packs as a kid trying to pull the Sapphire Pegasus, which was included in the OCG version of the set, but it was left out in the TCG, and I didn't know until I pulled this card like months into this endeavor. Yeah, so the first Sapphire Pegasus I actually owned was the one in the structure deck, which is really late, but that's just what it is. Now we have the Jesse Anderson Field Center that was in what, Legendary Duelist Season 1? Was that maybe the set? And it was either this or the other one, but yeah, this one was included. This one and a few others. I think also My Valentine got one, and I don't know who else got one, but those were included to be used as a field center. And the last one is just the structure deck QR code card. But hey, it was included in a set, so I made this last page. Now, with that being said, folks, this was my master set of every Crystal Beast card that has been printed within the TCG. Leave any thoughts you have on this collections or anything else you want to share. Maybe you could share your story about how you fell in love with Crystal Beast. Share your stories, share your thoughts into the comments, like and subscribe. I don't know if there will be more, but there is always going to be more. I mean, the sky's your limit, and only because I collected every card with the Crystal Beast doesn't mean there isn't any other form of product like mats or sealed products that could be acquired. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.